So this video is about gathering resources and some ways to increase the speed or also increase your load capacity for gathering resources. I will admit this is my second attempt at making a video on this because I am very tired and I was just messing up terms left and right. So anyway, let's come back to my keep. And we're going to look at an alliance resource tile. So right now we have the alliance sawmill, and we are also going to briefly look at a world resource spot. So these little tiny ones that are all over. So the quarry, a mine, that's a food one, I can't remember what it's called. Oh, farm, that's it. Farm, we already saw a quarry. Oh, and a sawmill as well. So remember, this alliance tile is only for the people who are in your alliance to use. Also, if you have troops in there, they cannot be attacked. They are safe. So you can use an alliance tile throughout any kill event or server war, or any time that your troops could be attacked. Otherwise, if you send troops out to a world resource spot, they are open to attack. We rarely had that happen here except during server war because it is against our server rules to attack tiles. So anyway, let's go into my keep and let's change some buffs here. Oh, not that. Let's change this buff because I forgot to do this beforehand. We are going to do a little demonstration here, but I also need to change this as well. There we go. Alright, so to start off, let's look at my generals. Because obviously, the generals have different traits to them that are helpful for things. So in the development area is where you will find generals that can help with gathering resources. And so Queen Jindok, Amir, and then my two Gaiuses. They are very useful for getting resources. Queen Jin, she brings back extra resources from world map resource spots. So those are those little resource tiles, and then from the alliance resource spot. So that line sawmill that I showed you, she'll bring back extra from there. And again, when you're reading through this, so check the wording, because hers say specific things for world map resource spots and specific things for alliance resource spots. So make sure you check that so you are using them appropriately. But yes, you can see that she is a good general to use for that alliance resource spot. And I also have some skill books added on here to increase, looks like all of them are speeds, gathering speeds. Okay, and also you can cultivate your general to increase gathering speed. So under politics, you can see resource gathering speed there. And also enhancement. I have not enhanced her because I don't have anything to enhance her with. But if you ascend your general and you start working your way towards getting those red stars, you can see there's also extra buffs there to get for ascending her. Now, any more experienced player is probably looking at this and is just, aghast by my general equipment that I have on her. If you watched my other video about equipment refining, you know that I hate equipment refining, and so I have not really done much. I have not even done much with making her good equipment for gathering. However, keep this in mind that the general equipment will also have attributes on there. These are very low grade equipment, so I have some refining attributes there to help with some of the speeds. But if you have some higher grade equipment, they may have some basic attributes too that help with resource speed and gathering. So you'll need to go through and look at some of the equipment that you can make in the forge to see what will help with your gathering generals. Now her specialty, I've already looked at those before, and I did not see anything. Oh, no, there, we do have some. Yeah, obviously I have not done any of her specialties yet, but she does have a specialty about gathering speed. What about this one? What is this? What about this? Oh yeah, more more gathering speeds. Okay, so she does have some specialties there that could also help with gathering speeds. Yep, I haven't done much with that. Okay, so looking at my other generals here, Amir, he increases the troop load by 100%. And for the most part, I've been told that where that really helps, I mean, if you ascend him, you do have some that's specific for resource gathering as well for the speed. But with that troop load, I've been told it is very helpful if you're plundering keeps, which I don't do. So I just use them for as a gathering general. But obviously I haven't really developed either. I just throw him out there and tell him to do his best. Okay, and then also Gaius. So the reason why I have 2 Gaiuses is because they're pretty decent for increasing your gathering speed on world map resource spots. So remember I told you to watch the wording of that. So these speed increases do not help with the alliance tile. So I don't ever send them to the alliance tile. I only send them out to the world resource map spots. Okay, so if you've viewed any of my other videos, you will remember there's also one about where to find buffs, different buffs, and so you can look through that, and I think most of that, I was talking about monster, like mounted attack on monsters and stuff. That's usually what I'm looking for. However, many of those places also include buffs related to resource gathering. So check out that video so you can find all the places. But a couple that I pay a lot of attention to is, well, first in research, in advancement, there are a whole bunch of research things they're dealing with. There you go. Speed of gathering stuff. And so I think that's in general, and then for the world resource tiles. But if you come to Alliance over here, there are also specific research things on your Alliance tiles and the gathering speed for there. So I pretty much have all those maxed, except for the agriculture, because we don't ever have that Alliance farm. We only do the other 3. Okay, so your research, another place is we go back into the Wonders, Civilization Treasure. If you remember, I deactivated it already, but that Fabergé egg, if you activate it, it increases the speed 10%. And then also the Monarch gear. So right now I have it on food production, but I could also change it to gathering speed and then increase that too. I'm not doing that right now because we are going to do a comparison. Right, so that's it. I think that's mostly it. Other than also just the city buffs. Again, look over that video about places to find buffs, because there are some other places mentioned in that video that also relate to gathering speed. But resource, I do not have gathering speeds activated. Yep, increases all resources gathering speeds. Honestly, I don't know if that applies to Alliance tiles or not. I can't remember, or if it only applies to World Resource tiles. I can't remember. But anyway, that's a very handy one if you have to gather some resources quickly from a World Resource tile. Sometimes I use that. Okay, let's go back out here. And remember I said we will look at both that Alliance sawmill and then also some of the World Resource spots. Now, for anybody who's just starting to play, this is very important. So if you look at this tile, it has 1.3 million ore in it. Okay, remember that, 1.3 million ore in this level 8 tile. And of course, the higher the level, the more that's in there. So when we go to Occupy, you will look down at the bottom of the screen. We have those 4 categories right above the Reset and March button. So there's the troop amount, so how many troops we're sending. There's the troop load, how much the troops carry, and gathering time, so how long it will take to gather from that tile, and also stamina. The World Resource tiles and the Alliance tiles, they do not use any stamina except for the gem mines. that are also out on the world map, those do use stamina. Now, troop load, so of course that is how much resources your troops are able to bring back. And you can increase that amount by increasing your number of troops. So see, I've increased it. It's taken it up to 13 million. The reason why I want to point this out is a lot of people will not send enough troops to carry back all the resources. So even if I just went with that recommended amount of troops that it automatically loads to be very close to that 1.3 million, I always up it and send extra troops, because sometimes if you bring back extra materials, it might fill up your troop load, and then you don't finish that tile to completion. I think that's one of the issues. I know there's something where that it requires you to send extra troops and have a greater troop load, and I think that's it. But yeah, I always send a little extra on top of what the game defaults me to send, just to make sure that I'm able to complete that tile and complete gathering it. With the smaller ones, it's not a big deal, but I cannot tell you how frustrating it is to look and look and look to find a level 16 tile, only to realize that there's still like 2 million left on it because somebody did not complete it. That's pretty annoying. So again, check that troop load, make sure that you have that you're able to bring back slightly more than what that tile has. So I am not actually sending troops there, so we won't go to that. But also, with that troop load in mind, let's go check our troops, because not all troops are created equal. Stupid pop-up. Oh man, I don't know if I can close it because my oh, okay, there. My little recording screen was in the way. Okay. Let's check our troops. So I have all 4 troop kinds at level 13. So we'll look at those. If you look at the ground troop, that troop load is 104 per troop. Archers, 85, almost 86 per troop. And mounted, 84 per troop. So out of those 3, the ground have a clear advantage, and then archers, and then mounted. But wait, there's more. Let's check our siege. 144 per siege. So siege by far has the greatest load capacity, 40% more than ground. Now, when you are just starting out and you're just building troops and you have small marches, it makes a lot of sense to send siege out to gather resources, because you don't have to have as many siege to hold as much resources. Whereas with the other ones, you would have to send out more troops to hold the same amount. But now I'm at the point where that doesn't really matter, because I have larger marches, and then I have a lot of troops that I don't have to worry about that as much. So, I mean, some people still choose to send out siege, because with that higher load, you can send out less, and just in case you get attacked, you won't lose as many troops. Let's check out, so 29 for that level 1, 16, 17, and 21. Yep. So anyway, so if you send out siege, you could send out less troops. But again, I don't really mind, because I have more than enough troops and more than enough march capacity to cover it. However, I do use my siege for the alliance tile. And that's because usually when I send a march to the alliance tile, I am sending it there until that alliance tile is finished, or until I meet my troop load. So I want to have that larger troop load so they stay in there for a while. Shoot, how did I go longer? Okay, well, we won't do that comparison. I'm almost out of time with my free YouTube amount. So since I'm going to the sawmill, I'll choose that. And let's go back. Man, how did I go so long? Let's go back and activate that civilization treasure. There we go. And then I'll go back and send out my march. I can tell you I already did this before. I know that without those 2 buffs for gathering lumber, the speed is 2.38 million lumber per hour. But by having those buffs activated, it increases it to like 2.59, I think. We'll find out here soon. So we'll send them. Bam. Let's check. Yep, 2.59 million lumber per hour. That is what I'm gathering. Yep. So very nice to just send the troops there and leave them for a couple days. All right, well, that's it. See ya.